I quit watching porn, but not because of the NoFap movement or because it was affecting my sex life or even because I felt shame afterwards. No, I quit watching porn because I learned something about the porn industry itself that made me never want to watch porn again. In this video, I'm going to share with you the shocking and even horrifying truth behind the porn industry and the scope of its plans for you that go way beyond profit and pleasure, so that you'll walk away from this video like I did, knowing that there is no such thing as a healthy porn habit. Hi, I'm Benny Wills, and I'm a husband and father of 3 small boys, and I'm a men's coach. And it won't be surprising for you to learn that most of the guys I've worked with over the last few years have struggled with a porn addiction at some point in their adult lives, and I am no exception. It's estimated that 84% of guys between ages 13 and 18 have already consumed hardcore pornographic content. And for guys over 18, I'm guessing that number is closer to 100%. Did you know that the pornographic website xvideos.com gets more clicks every month than Reddit, Amazon, and TikTok? And not far behind that are Pornhub and Xhamster. Porn consumption has never been higher, and it's never been easier to access. Anything your twisted, perverted mind can whip up, you can find somewhere on the internet in less than a minute for free. It's a pervasive problem, one that's been plaguing the minds of billions of men, at least for the last half century, and there's no end in sight. But I don't have to tell you that. We all know porn is a problem. It's obvious. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of guides. There's a lot of people who are devoting their lives to helping you stop watching porn. I don't have a framework to share with you. I conquered my porn addiction through sheer willpower, through the power of my mind. But I did that through knowledge. I educated myself on the porn industry itself, the roots of it, the pushers of it, the purveyors of it, those who have been spreading pornography since around the mid part of the last century. And what I learned scared me to my core, scared me straight, scared me away from ever wanting to watch porn again. Pornography is guilty of many things, not the least of which is the sexualization of children. In 2014, the #1 search term on all pornographic websites was teen porn. Also, amongst the top searches was barely legal. Luckily, I guess you can say luckily, it's no longer #1, but it is still in the top 10. But it gets much worse. In 1983, a study was conducted analyzing images from Playboy, Penthouse, and Hustler magazines. The study concluded that between 1953, the year that Playboy hit the scene, and 1982, over 9,000 images had been published of children in sexual situations in these magazines. That averages out to 8 or 9 images per issue. Not only sexual situations, but children getting raped, children getting molested, incest, even murder. 9,000 images carefully embedded in these magazines in between articles, interviews, and pictures of beautiful women naked. That was 41 years ago, 1983. That's the year I was born. And it's only gotten way worse. There was no internet back then. This was back when pornography took a little effort to acquire, when it took more than a few clicks to get your rocks off. And while I'm on the topic, here are some not so fun facts about some of the men behind these pornographic magazines. In 1989, the head cartoonist for Hustler went to prison for raping his daughter. Hustler founder Larry Flynt raped his daughter when she was 9 years old. Hugh Hefner, the man behind Playboy, allegedly, repeatedly had sex with one of his daughter's high school classmates. Let's back up a bit. 12 years before that study was conducted in 1983, Reader's Digest had an article in 1971 called "What Sex Offenders Say About Pornography," in which they cited the FBI's uniform crime reports, stating that between 1960 and 1969, the number of forcible rapes committed by males under 18 had increased by 86%. It could be concluded that some force impelling towards sex crime has been operating on younger males in the United States. Could that force be the hyper-sexualizing of boys through pornographic imagery? No, probably just a coincidence. Magazines like Playboy serve as stepping stones into further perversion. They're like gateways into more hardcore content. I should know, I got my hands on my first Playboy when I was only 12 years old. By 14, I was watching softcore porn on late night Cinemax, also known as Skinemax. Then by 18, I was watching hardcore pornography on VHS tapes. And then by college, I was watching DVDs. And then, of course, with high-speed internet, it was the all-you-can-eat buffet of porn online. Porn addiction might start off innocent enough. And by innocent, I mean you'd watch basic sex between a man and a woman. But if you don't keep it in check, if you keep scratching the itch, if you keep watching porn, pretty soon that vanilla stuff will no longer do it for you. And you get drawn to more kinkier or more erotic scenes. You want more, more, more. Your appetite is never quite satiated. It's an unquenchable thirst, which ultimately leads some people to search terms like barely legal and teen porn. I was never in danger of going too dark with my curiosity, luckily. Probably because I only ever had one hand in the cookie jar. I was still dating women. I was still even having sex. It was more of a friends with benefits type situation, not a committed relationship. Something else worth pointing out. Porn addiction can have deadly consequences. Right before serial killer Ted Bundy was executed, he requested to be interviewed. And in his interview, he talked pretty much exclusively about pornography and addiction to pornography. This is what he had to say. Once you become addicted to it, like other kinds of addiction, you keep looking for more potent, more explicit, more graphic kinds of material. Like an addiction, you keep craving something which is harder, something which gives you a greater sense of excitement, until you reach the point where the pornography only goes so far. You reach that jumping off point where you begin to wonder if maybe actually doing it will give you that which is just beyond reading about it and looking at it. I've lived in prison for a long time now, and I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence, just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography, without question, without exception, deeply influenced and consumed by an addiction to pornography. Does this mean that a porn addiction turns all men into pedophiles, criminals, and serial killers? No. Of course it doesn't, but it's worth noting nonetheless. Now let's bring it back to the present. A popular hashtag right now on TikTok is KinkTok, which has 6.9 billion views. 6.9 billion. That's billion with a B. Hashtag Choke has 375.5 million views. These are mainly teenagers clicking these hashtags. Right now, sexual violence is being glorified online. Rough sex is glamorized. Rape is being fantasized about. And Hollywood is not helping either. A movie came out last year called Poor Things. You may have heard of it. It was nominated for a bunch of Oscars. I think it even won a few. Emma Stone won Best Actress. It has a 92% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It is literally about a child inside of a woman's body who has sex with older men. I could go on. There's a lot more to share on this topic, but I'm feeling kind of icky, and I'd rather go hang out with my wife and kids. So in conclusion, pornography is poison. It destroys self-confidence and cheapens sex, at the very least. Not to mention erectile dysfunction, which is just a synonym for porn addiction. The porn problem has gotten way out of hand, and I have no idea how or when it's going to stop. But I do know that change always starts at the individual level, with personal accountability and personal responsibility. Guys, there is no such thing as a healthy porn habit. If you're still masturbating to porn, you gotta stop. You know better. Do it for your wives, for your sons, for your daughters, for women and children everywhere, for the sake of all that is decent and holy, for your own integrity. and in service to solving a problem that's pervasive and ruining the lives of people all over the world. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm a men's coach. And one of the things I help guys with is overcoming their addiction to pornography, addiction in general. If you are ready to finally kick the habit, whatever it is, consider booking a call with me to see if my program, The Self-Reliant Way, is a good fit for you. Also, I'm excited to announce that next month I'll be launching a community for men focused on excellence. If you want to be surrounded by cool dudes who are like-minded, who have similar problems and roadblocks and obstacles on their paths, but are determined to be excellent and make the most of their time here on Earth, click the link below, get on the wait list. You'll be the first to know when the doors open, and you'll get early access to the community. Thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and I'll see you next time.